It does not seem like Elon Musk is going to ease up on his war on media, especially the outlets that he probably has the biggest conflicts with, like Reuters, Business Insider, and so forth. He launched yet another attack on Twitter today. There's some quite serious accusations that he had on Twitter, but at the same time, I and many people understand his frustration with those outlets that are reporting unfairly on Tesla and the progress of Model 3 production. I just did a video a couple of days ago about how media covers Tesla fires versus fires on gas cars of other manufacturers. So I think we all understand frustration. I think we all are very much behind him as far as having a voice to counter the unfair coverage. But at the same time, I've voiced this many times that I don't necessarily agree. Actually, I don't agree with how he does it, the strategy. But bottom line, is it really working for him, right? He's not doing it for fun, I'm assuming. He's doing it because he wants to achieve something. Let's examine if that's the best way to go, if there are any alternatives as well. I'm going to tackle that right now, but also a couple of comments of the day that I wanted to address, and we're going to do it all coming up next. Welcome to those who are watching me on Patreon Live. That's a great way to support the show. Please do so if you want to keep this show independent, of course. And if you're watching me on YouTube, welcome. Please consider subscribing so you are kept up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars. All right, let's talk about Elon Musk and what's happening this week with the media, and once again, he's not very happy with it. I'm assuming it's also because, Tesla reached the production goal that they've set a while back, 5,000 Model 3s per week. They also, at the same time, went back to the production levels of Model S and Model X. Big achievement, delivered finally on what he promised, and yet the stock went down. Because there's now, Wall Street doesn't believe he's going to sustain this. There's talk about the tents and other things, and it doesn't seem like they're ever going to be pleased. They will always find an excuse, and I think these are all excuses. The fact that somehow they don't think that he's going to sustain it is silly. Because one thing he has always done is he sustained the goals he's achieved, and almost immediately so. So it just doesn't seem like they're going to ease up. Doesn't seem like the plan that Elon Musk has is really working as far as how to fight this, right? Now here's a tweet that he posted, one of many in the last 24 hours. He basically saying that one of the Reuters reporters wrote a misleading article, and fair enough. I would have loved for him to point out what those misleading facts or non-facts were, rebuttal it with some numbers. But then he complains that the guy was mean to him on his birthday. And I feel like this is where he loses a lot of people in the credibility of what he's trying to do, right? Go ahead, tweet out the facts. Call this guy out. If the article was not good, if the article was unfair, or the facts were false that they were presented, then yes, call him out. Let us know what it is. But then if this is about you having good times on your birthday, I'm not really sure if that's a best way to counter something that serious. Now, another tweet that he sent out, which was actually a pretty big deal. He basically is accusing of one of the reporters that published an article a while back about Tesla having way too much scrap after the production. He says that it's that ex-Tesla employee that they just found basically transferring information to the outside of the company. I think Martin Tripp is his name. They're suing him. He's claiming that he was bribed by this journalist, and that would be bad. That would definitely be a big story. But again, I'm not really sure if a quick tweet is really the way to go about it. It should be part of the lawsuit. It should be maybe a statement from the company. It should be maybe a lawsuit against that organization or that person as well, if this is illegal, if this is really happening. But that's not how he did it. So I just, there is an opportunity here, right? If he is right, there is an opportunity here, and I really wish he would do it differently. Now, let me also go back to my original position, as I still believe that Elon attacks too many people at the same time with not enough information like, even in this case, just because someone's saying something negative about Tesla doesn't mean that, one, you have to reply, and two, it doesn't mean that it may not necessarily be true. There are some things that negative reporting has been done that, deserved it, and Tesla needs to, remember good old days when there was some criticism towards Tesla, and Elon Musk would come out and say, you know what? We're going to look into this, and if this is true, then we're going to go ahead and fix it and do the right thing by our customers. He recently did it with the Consumer Reports, which was very surprising, but that's how he used to deal with almost everything, and it was great. Everybody loved this. But now anybody who attacks Tesla automatically becomes fake news, and they get kind of this personal attacks where even people like myself who would be more than willing to listen to hear him out and see what the facts are, we don't get that chance. And now let's talk about why he's doing this. What the purpose of fighting so hard on Twitter and out in the public against these companies. Before that, I should also remind you that this channel and this show is sponsored by Evonex, the aftermarket accessories for your Tesla. There is a discount code in the description of this video, so go ahead and grab it if you're shopping there. That way you can save yourself a few bucks. July 4th sale or not. All right, so let's go back to why Elon is doing it. I'm assuming there are only two possible reasons, right? He's either trying to sell more cars or he's trying to sell more stock so the price goes up. Let me know in the comment section if there's another possibility. But in the first case of selling cars, obviously he's not having any problems with that. It's not like he needs to drum up any more business. I bet they're feeling overwhelmed with all the orders and the huge line that's out of the door and wrapped around the globe a couple of times for the Model 3, right? So that's not that. It really, I can only assume that this is about the stock price, right? At the same time, if you look at it, the stock price is pretty high for what the company is. If you actually look at the financials, the history, the earnings and so forth, this stock price is actually not bad. Look at the market cap of the company. It is actually very impressive for what it is. So I feel like everybody should be happy with that as far as, pro Tesla and Elon Musk sort of the army. And yes, it could probably go higher, but obviously this is not the way to deal with Wall Street. I mean, obviously hanging up on analysts, accuse everybody who is coming up with the negative articles all the time without not always facts present. It's not the way to go. I mean, whether you agree with me or him or not, doesn't even matter. Look at the results, right? He just had a great freaking quarter. He achieved the goal. The Model 3 production at basically is Model 3 is the best-selling electric car, one of the best-selling cars in this category, if not the best one in the US now. Things are going great, and the stock price is still falling, right? Obviously, the strategy he picked is not the right strategy. Now, I always suggested that he needs to maybe step away from this. He just needs to continue being the positive face for the community, positive face for the technology, and let the PR department handle it. Every company has the public relations department. I know Tesla has it somewhere, but obviously they're not allowed to talk. I think Elon either needs to fire them all and hire people who can do it and trust him, or start trusting his own organization. There are quite a few different good ways to handle all of this. None of it is new. None of these attacks are new. None of these are reports and all of that stuff. None of it is new. There are ways how to counter it. Usually you want to counter it, before the story, for example, rather than chasing the stories. I think he really should just outsource it to his own PR department. And that's the way that I think he should handle it. No, stop getting your hands dirty with all of this stuff. Continue being the star of the brand, of the movement. And I think that will work out a little bit better. At least it will be the change. If you continue doing this, I don't think the results are going to be any different. Let me know in the comment section if you guys think that there is another way, or if you think he should stick with something that is not working, or maybe you think it is. Let me know. I think stock price that hasn't really gone up that much begs the difference. So I will leave you guys at that. This is sort of for the group discussion. All right, let me move on to the comment of the day. I got two this time. The first one is from Murati. I'm ready. All of the Tesla fanboys, out of all the Tesla fanboys out there, you are most likable. That's why I watch your videos, but you're still Tesla fanboy. All right, this is funny. This is great. Well, first of all, thank you, I guess. You are aware that literally in the same, like as I was reviewing my comments, I also been called a Tesla hater all the time. Even this video, people will watch it and say, Alex is such a Tesla hater. He hates Elon Musk. And some people say, oh my God, he's such a fanboy. He's making all these excuses for Tesla and all that stuff. Listen, nothing pleases me more than comments like this and seeing the opposite comments, because this is where I believe I'm doing my job well, right? If I'm causing both sides to believe I'm against them, where really I am for them, and I'm not picking sides. I love the fact that I get to, you know, and I'm in no way connected to Tesla. I don't have a pro-Tesla channel. I'm not getting paid in free roasters or anything like that. I get to report on what I think is right and present both sides of the stories, like I just did today. So yeah, it's kind of funny that anybody would call me a Tesla fanboy or a Tesla hater, but I love it. Awesome, no problem with that. All right, let's move on to the more serious one, and this one comes from Smartycuz, and this is in terms of the video. I think is follow up on the video that I did about, you know, why Tesla fires are being reported the way they are, where all this other, I gave an example of Hyundai and their issues with their cars getting caught on fire. You can watch that video that was posted on Monday, I think. Anyway, so here's what he or she says. If you're a big oil or big auto company, how would you feel about Tesla? There is a lot of money being spent right now aimed at Tesla's reputation, and it's not being spent to help Tesla succeed. Okay, now the other auto companies actually are, well, let's separate. The auto companies, yeah, obviously they don't want Tesla to succeed, but at the same time, it's more than Tesla now. The entire world, the regulations, the governments, the people's opinions, the technology, it's all moving towards electric cars. So if anything, I think automakers will start benefiting from Tesla paving the way to this new technology, going through all this growing pains, just so they can start making their own electric cars and move sort of to the future. Now I understand dealerships and maybe mechanic shops are not happy about it, but they will catch on. So I'm not really sure if auto industry is really that much against Tesla, at least as much as they used to. Now, oil industry is a little different. Oil industry is all about making money on energy, right? They're energy companies. They're not technically oil companies. Oil is the present way to create energy. There's also natural gas. Some companies in Europe do nuclear power and so forth. The green energy is the future, and these companies are realizing that so very soon, and these companies know that they need to start shifting. Some of them are. BP just bought the largest charging network in the UK, ChargeMaster. Shell has a Shell Recharge program where they're installing charging stations at their gas stations. And also Shell is one of the investors in Ionity charging network in Europe. So they are turning around. I don't think they care how they're going to make money. As a matter of fact, I think now they're jumping on this technology because this is how they can maybe separate them from the pack, make an extra buck, get ahead of the game. So this, it looks like a lot of them see this technology as an opportunity to get ahead, and it obviously looks like they're starting to turn that direction. So I think oil company is something that we should actually start rooting for, as far as them turning around and starting this process. And I don't see why they would hate Tesla at this point, because the Tesla might be bringing them new opportunities. And with all of the politics that's going on, I think not being dependent on oil, which a lot of politics is involved, but being dependent on something that everyone's got, which is sunshine and wind, may just be much more stable business for them, and I think they know. Let me know if you disagree. That's why there's a comment section, but I'm out of time, so I'm just gonna say goodbye. I will see you tomorrow. Once again, I do daily videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, support me on Patreon. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.